welcome to another edition of the Ask Dr. Jack Show. I am Dr. Jack Bielitz, chiropractor in Omaha, Nebraska. Not trying to give you medical advice, just trying to give you great information that you can use to make intelligent and now informed decisions about your health and that of your families.
And I am Leah, Dr. Jack's wonderful assistant.
Who we brought out for version 2.0 because it is so much better than it was in version 1.0 with just me. So, that's it for the introductions. Let's talk about what this week is.
All right, so we're in our last week of Childhood Obesity Awareness Month. And this week I thought we could address all of the conspiracy theorists out there that think that the grains and gluten is just now some new fad and everybody's going to get over it in a couple of years and grains will be okay to eat again. What they don't know is that grains have seriously been getting questioned in the United States since about the 50s.
That's true, and that happened because that was the first time that wheat gluten, or now we know it's just gluten because although it's in wheat, it's in other grains too, but they realized that this protein, gluten, was actually causing a disease, and in this case it was celiac disease. And upon further studies, we are finding that peptides in grains induce change in human physiology, and they do produce disease like, for instance, celiac disease, but also dysfunction in the body. And so not a lot of good stuff coming from grains, you know, and if you think about it, we have to process them in order for them to be edible or digestible. So, you know, the question remains, should we really be eating them?
Yeah, definitely, because it's not like we're just eating a piece of wheat straight out of the garden or out of the field. This is going through another process where it's being changed and cooked and added to and things like that. So.
Yeah, so there's a lot to it. A lot of questions, but let's talk a little bit more about some of the other reasons why.
What's in grains that make...
Yeah, exactly, because, you know, we've talked about, like last week, we hit pretty hard about the insulin resistance that is caused by grains. And if you're not sure about that, if you missed that show, go back to our other YouTube channel. You can go back to our newsletter archive. You can find it. If you need the information, call us at the office here. We will get that to you. But insulin resistance is huge, and it's a really big reason, but it's not the only reason.
So we narrowed it down to 3 other main reasons besides the insulin that grains are really bad for you.
That's right. So lectin is the first one. It's a protein. Now, thing about grains is that they're no different than any other plant or any other animal. They want to survive. And so, like for instance, roses survive because they have thorns. You know, they keep their predators away because of the damage or the hurt that it can come from that. Lectins are kind of the defense mechanism of the grains. Basically, when you have a protein, you should be able to break it down into amino acids, you know, little tiny pieces, like for instance when you eat meat or, you know, fish or things like that. You can break those proteins down into amino acids and then use those amino acids to make the proteins that your body needs. It's one of the reasons why we, you know, eat those things. And we can't break those things down. And so what happens is that this big chunk is sitting there going through the intestines, and it does get into the body, unfortunately, and in doing so, it scars the intestinal lining, which then, you know, the receptors that are being scarred by that are no longer able to pick up the nutrients that we're going to need for, you know, like there might be a vitamin C one or a amylase one or what, you know, there's just lots of different receptors that are lining the intestinal wall, and any one of those could be scarred because of these big proteins that are getting through and just because they're not getting broke down far enough. So that's a big thing right there.
Definitely. And scar tissue doesn't go away, as you guys know. It kind of stays there, and it can cause blockages and things like that as well in your intestines. So the next big thing on the list is the protease inhibitors.
Now here's the thing. They use these for AIDS medication. These things are powerful stuff. I mean, this class of thing. It's what keeps AIDS people that are in AIDS alive, and it's because they block enzymes from breaking down things. And so in this case, it's causing, obviously not the same thing as what AIDS patients are going through, but it's blocking digestion of some of the foods. And so again, grains causing more dysfunction and whatever in the body. It's not good.
That's right. And then the last one is phthalates.
Phthalates. Yes. Okay, so again, seeds need to reproduce, or plants need to reproduce. And the thing about grains is they contain just about everything it needs to reproduce by itself, so it doesn't need something else. There's a few little nutrients that it does, little minerals that they will need. And so what happens is that, you know, even though this grain is now inside a human body and has no chance whatsoever of reproducing, these little guys will go and basically, you know, latch on to a certain amino acid, or not amino, certain mineral that that particular thing would need were it out in the environment for reproduction, and it will tag it as its own. And so now your body can't use that particular mineral for your own purposes. So, you know, it's
So basically, grains are causing scarring, and then they're keeping your body from absorbing nutrients that you actually need, whether it be through protease inhibitors inhibiting the enzymes, or the phthalates taking these nutrients for their own. It's happening.
Yeah. Now, I gotta tell you, I have been a grain person most of my life. You know, I had breakfast cereal all my life. I was a huge bread addict until about 4 years ago. I still like to go find gluten-free bread, even though it doesn't taste anywhere near as good as the real stuff. You know, at least it kind of scratches that itch, if you will, because it's a big thing. You know, grains have just become so ingrained in our culture. And everything that we're reading these days is pointing to how that is not such a good thing.
It's important to remember a big reason that we ate grains a long time ago was because we needed something to eat all winter long so we wouldn't starve to death. We're not starving to death for the most part here in the Western world. So again, you really can eliminate these grains. So we have a challenge for you. Eliminate the grains for 1 whole month
and see how you feel.
Check back in.
I would bet that you're going to have lost weight. You're going to have little aches and pains that are gone. And it's just going to be an absolutely amazing thing if you do this. This is going to be an amazing challenge. Now, that doesn't mean that one day a week you get to have your cereal. Or
there's no cheat day.
You get to have some toast with your breakfast because everybody else is. You know, do this for real, and I would bet you're going to see some amazing things. I know I have completely eliminated grains for a couple of days in a row, and it's like, wow, I really felt. I mean, walking down the stairs, the little aches and pains in my feet, especially early in the morning. You know, that just that little kind of getting started aches and pain thing, they're gone. You know, it's.
I
really
personally
insane.
have more energy. I am not as sleepy and as tired when I give up all the grains.
Yeah, so
that's for me.
There's some really cool things. So take us up on this challenge. Just do it for a month, because once you have done this, you can see how you feel, and then you can make an intelligent decision as to whether or not this is the lifestyle for you. I got to tell you, it's not all roses, you know, because watching these people have toast in the morning kills you sometimes. I don't know what I'm going to do when I have to actually bypass a cinnamon roll, like on a day that I don't have to work. You know, those are kind of my days where I like to enjoy myself a little bit and maybe sneak something in that's not quite so great. That's going to be tough. I will guarantee you that. But you know what? For 1 month, I'm going to do it, and
Me too.
I'm going to be really excited to see these changes. So, actually, by the time you see this, I should have completed that month. So, I'm
know
hoping
that.
that you can come into the office and say, how did your month go? Because if I can't tell you I did, then I failed. So
So like and share this video, comment below, and join in the challenge with us. And we will see you next time on
the Ask Dr. Jack Show!